who knows what. I am Jen Parkin with Do You Convert? And as always, with my special co-host,
Mike Lyon.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody. What day is it even, Mike? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? It's all bleeding together. What?
Jen, I'd like to read a poem for you. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except March, which has 8,000. It kind of feels like a month that will not end, but it's April Fools.
April Fools. But hey, listen, we don't have any fake news here today, folks. We are only bringing you the real stuff. But hey, if you're joining us, make sure you pop on, say hi, give us some hearts, comment, wave, do your thing. I want to first get a little pulse check from everybody. So I want you to take a minute and comment below. You know, it's for most of us, it's week 3 of sheltering in place, right? So the first week the adrenaline was high. We were scrambling. We were trying to figure out what was going on. The second week, we got a plan. We're executing the plan. And now the third week, I feel is a little more like reality is set in. Mm-hmm. And so I want to get a little pulse check from you guys. 1 on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 you're feeling amazing. 1, send help. You need us to come save you. So, chat away. Let us know how you're feeling. How are you feeling, Mike?
I am, on a scale of 1 to Britney Spears. I don't know if you've seen that one. The 9 levels of Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I'm not quite shaved my head, smashing a window in with an umbrella, but there's a lot of moving parts right now. And so I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm with you. It's been a rough few days here at the Barkin Casa. We've been navigating some things that we didn't really think that we would have to navigate, right? Mm-hmm. So it's definitely been a little challenging. But one thing I'm feeling really about is the amazing online sales specialists out there that are kicking butt and taking names. And one thing that, we wanted to share with you guys is, last Monday when we went live, it was the biggest live viewing results, right? That we have ever had. I mean, we come once a month to do Facebook Lives, right? For years now. We have, opt-in where we do those. And, sometimes we don't really know who's going to show up and, are there people going to be viewing and what's going to be happening. But, and I know we can attribute what happened last Monday to our current pandemic where people are like, hey, I need to hop on and see kind of what's going on out there. But despite us wondering if our viewers will show up, we consistently do it because regardless of us wondering this, we always want to be showing up for you guys. We want to be showing up for the industry. We want to be present. We want to be talking about the things that matter. But I want you guys to think about how that applies to you as online salespeople. Do you guys ever wonder who is opening your emails? Who's listening to your voicemails? Who's watching your video emails? Should I even still be doing video emails? Should I still be prospecting? Should I still be calling people? And the answer is yeah, because if you keep showing up and you keep being present, people will pay attention. They'll remember. They will be there when they need you. And that's kind of what happened last week. And that's what we're seeing is like, hey, people need some information. And so when your buyers need you, if you've consistently been in front of them, you've been there, they'll be ready. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, it's a good analogy. And yes, we are appreciative, but also how do we apply that to the online? Because we hear how many times we hear that no one ever responds to my video email. Yeah. It's a waste of time. It's like, until it's not, and until they care. So I love it. Mm-hmm. That's a great analogy. And we appreciate all of you. I love Greg. Jesse said she's a 3. Greg says he's a solid 5. He just may be naive. I don't think you're naive. I think you're just Canadian. Canadians are always positive, have a good positive mindset. So, Jen, what do we have? What have we learned in the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's
a couple weeks, a couple days, I should say, 10 days.
Well, yeah, I mean, things are changing, right? But I think that, we wanted to just share with you some of the things that we're hearing, out there, talking to people, and it really is still a wide spectrum of the way people are handling this, the way builders are, their processes and their protocols right now. It's kind of all over the board. So we have been, weekly kind of doing a poll and kind of seeing what our online sales specialists are seeing out there. So what are the latest results of that survey that we sent out? What are people saying?
Yeah, that's a couple of things just to consider. And Jen, I'm telling you, just so you know, it's not terrible. You're a little choppy because everybody in your neighborhood's on the internet, but we get the message. Yeah. It's coming through. We feel you. We feel we feel it coming through. I'll take over.
Sorry, right. Authentic over perfection. We're all doing the best we can do here.
No, we're good.
Even us.
I'll wave you down. So a couple key things that stood out from our polls. The week before, we always reached out to online sales, and we've got a lot of online sales teams that we're working with because they're the front line. Online sales is the leading indicator. The first thing that we saw was we started to see a little bit of softening of inbound true lead volume and phone call volume. The second week, we saw more of the same. Okay, so a little bit down, not totally flat, but you definitely heard from a lot of the teams out there. And we'd love to hear from you. Is it getting quiet out there? That's kind of the overall theme, is it's getting a little bit quiet. So that's okay. That means we work this as best we can. Someone else said, this is the first time ever I've never set an appointment in a week. And I go, it's not you. It's the market. I promise you're not doing anything wrong. So something just to keep in mind there. The second two different other things. So the second thing that we learned this past week is we asked everybody, what is the preferred method of your interaction, your virtual appointments? And it was FaceTime number one, and a close second was Zoom. Skype was nowhere to be found, just a little bit. So there you go. I mean, it's if you're using those two, you should have your bases covered. I also was surprised that a few of the builder partners had not even really considered this, and we hadn't really trained it. Like, we haven't really put out protocols like, hey, you've got to tell your salespeople what to use.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. And the final one was interesting. As much as we talk about virtual appointments, there hasn't been a huge dramatic shift to virtual appointments. And so we've seen that number not super large. I think it's going to grow as more places are changed and sheltering in place. But also the customer sentiment. We asked, how did your customers feel about this? 20+%, right around there, were excited to do a virtual appointment. Another 20-ish% said, no thanks, I'll wait. I don't want to do this. And the remainder were reluctant. They're like, I guess I'll do it if I have to. And so I just want to kind of just encourage you guys. We don't need to just jump to virtual appointment right away. It's how can we support and meet you the way that you want to meet. Just a couple things to keep in mind there. Jen, what about you? What are you hearing?
Yeah, one thing I think was pretty interesting. I wanted to let everybody know this too, is, we were talking about Zoom last time, and, the free trial, or if you subscribe for the free version, it kicks you off after 40 minutes. But I was on a Zoom call earlier today, and it popped up as a gift. We're getting away from the 40-minute limit.
Ripped from the headlines.
So that happened just today. So Zoom is extending it, so you can be on as long as possible. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, some other things that we want to talk about. Last time we talked about prospecting, and we said everybody was like, yay, we don't have to prospect. Yay. That's awesome. The time in history that we've ever said that. We want you to switch your focus to prospecting to realtors. Realtors right now.
That's good. I love that.
Realtors right now can't show used homes, can't show occupied homes. And so what do you have? You have empty inventory. You have empty model homes, some of you. So definitely reach out to realtors. And with that service over selling, we're here to help, right? We're here to let you know this is what we have for you and we can work with you on this. So, you know, what bit of energy you have in your hearts right now, you know, switch that over to responsive people that you've talked to. Again, you show up and check on them, see how they're doing. One person I was talking to yesterday said that they almost feel guilty, Mike, for even asking for an appointment right now.
Oh, no.
Right. Like they feel like, oh, should I even still, you know, we're open, but like, I feel kind of, should I even ask? Yeah. And, you know, one way you might want to, yes, you should still ask if you're still open, but one way you might want to phrase that too is, you know, how do you feel about coming out for a private one-on-one meeting?
Right.
How do you feel about that? You know,
right.
Just kind of switching up some of the language that you're using to make them feel more comfortable. So just kind of keep that in mind. Yeah.
I want to tell a story about a realtor too, but before we do, I just want to make a point of that we're very matchy today.
I mean
April Fools, wearing black.
I was gonna dress up as Mike.
We're wearing black until we get out of our COVID-19 lockdown, folks. I just want to
comment below if you would like me to dress up as Mike one of these days, because I have the get up, I have the fake beard, and I have a Do You Convert hat and polo that I was going to wear. If you guys would like to see that, you know, I want to make your wishes come true.
So check this out, Jen, along the lines that realtors, Corey and I are going for our nightly walk to keep our sanity. Our realtor who lives down the street rides by on her bike. She stops, we're talking. And then I go, hey, how are you doing? How's it going out there? And she goes, well, realtors are essential business. We've been deemed essential. Mm-hmm. And I've got someone who has a friend of ours who has kids moving in, and they're moving in from out of town and they need a house. Like, so she goes, I'm still showing and I'm essential. And it goes back to that whole prospecting thing. It's like, no, we don't need to prospecting non-responsive leads. Do we need to hit our realtors? Yes, business to business. We want them to have business, and we've got empty homes. Let's show those empty homes, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that. Melissa is saying yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, see? We want that.
Yes, summer. They want me to dress up as you. So we're gonna make that happen.
Madison says absolutely yes. So the people have spoken.
I'm gonna make it happen. Now, Mike, you just had an amazing virtual sales training.
Oh, that was the best.
Which was something different, right? It was out of our lane, really, right? What we normally do, you know.
Yes.
It was.
Yes. Well, no. Let's rephrase that. It's out. We're not sales trainers. We don't go out. And
right. That's what I mean. Right.
But have we been virtually selling our entire life? Yes. I mean.
Yes. You know. Exactly. But I wanted to, you know, because it was focused towards, you know, on-site salespeople, but was there any new tips from, you know, Steve, Passanelli, you know, anything that we can share with our online sales folks?
Well, number one, well, Summer's saying I need to dress up as a Tiger King. I don't know. I feel like Halloween pretty much has
wacky right now. So, I mean, maybe we have Halloween in April. I don't know.
So here's what was cool. So first of all, it was a great session. If you guys have if you were there, let us know in the comments. All your salespeople should get the recording and sign up for the next one, because Jeff Shore is on Friday, which is going to be phenomenal. We have almost 3,000 people registered for this. I mean, it's huge. And so there's definitely need in our industry for some clarity around what virtual sales is. But the couple things that stood out to me, you know, that Steve said and that we talked about together. Number one, we're talking about physical distancing, not social distancing. So let's just get rid of that social isolation. We can still be connected like many of us we're seeing out there are doing today, like we're doing right now. We're staying connected. Right. We see you, you're talking, we see Jen. It's all good. So it's the same with your customers. Don't hide in place. You've got to do that. To do that, you've got to leverage video. I don't think I don't think it's still a question of like, do you need to be on video? Not all the time, but a good part of the time. The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
The other big thing too is when he was talking about heuristics and just like how we're judging people and judging a conversation and body language and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even what I'm doing right now is I'm doing this. Using your hands, maintaining good eye contact, positioning the camera where it needs to be are all things that subconsciously convey authority and trust and warmth. I love the stuff that he shared there. And then we just went in through some tips and like pitfalls of things to avoid, because people, not everybody's gonna want to jump on camera. It's just not all going to happen. Yeah. The different type of tools that we use are all a little bit different. So I think what was interesting too is hearing the feedback, because there's 2,000 plus people on that last webinar.
Crazy.
The stuff that they were saying was amazing. One person said, curate, don't create. Like we don't have to go out there and worry about creating a whole bunch of new content.
Leverage what we got. Tools that you have and the stuff on your website that you currently have. Absolutely.
There's Kevin. Hey, Kevin, I always love your Facebook profile. Thanks for saying nice things. We just want to put that hat up there. If you guys like Kevin's hat, let him know with an emoji, a hat emoji, and a palm tree emoji that you like Kevin McNulty's hat. So good.
We are hearing, you were saying at the beginning, just all across the board, different spectrums. People are feeling a certain sort of way about this, and some people think it's a hoax. Some people are really freaking out, right? And we're seeing, our builders handle appointments different ways. Some are completely virtual. Some are appointment only. Some have a sign up that say, call this number, get screened, and then you can come in, And so what I would encourage online salespeople, you're talking to basically all of these people. You're talking to prospects. You're talking to people that maybe are walking up to your model home with a note on the door that they call a number and you get them as well. You're talking to your leadership. You're talking to your salespeople. You're talking to everybody. So again, I want to encourage you to, whatever you're hearing out there, please communicate that back to your leadership, because you're hearing the people saying, oh, I'm fine coming out for an appointment. No, but you're also hearing people say, you're still open. Why are you still open? Like, that's crazy. Or you might be hearing your salespeople say, I'm nervous about meeting with people right now, but they may not be communicating that to other people. So, I encourage you, you are absorbing and hearing all of these different things, please communicate that back to your leadership and let them know kind of what's going on out there.
I think that's a really good point. And what you don't want to be during a challenging time is the person who stops the sale. Okay. So our job is just to keep the ball rolling, keep the conversation going, whether it's light and on the surface or whether it's deep and they want to learn more about the home and move to the next step. Your job is just to keep the conversation going, keep the momentum going as best that you possibly can.
That's right.
I love what KD says here. We are online celebrities with our prospects. That's pretty good. Talk shows are still broadcasting from home. It's a new channel. Our connection is a connection. I love that. That's a great point. Give her a like on that comment that she shared, because it is true. I mean, we have this technology that's at our fingertips and we're ready for it. I think we just finished up a manager's session. Right, Jen? And we won't use names or builder names, because as much as I love to publicly shame people, I don't. We were hearing some resistance to like, this is just an extra cost right now of getting video email. This is an extra cost doing this and that. And yet they were still, let's see how I put this politically correctly. Participating in other technologies that were 10, 15 times the amount of what a bomb account would be, for example. And I'm like, you'll pay for that, but you won't encourage your sales team to sign up for something that they'll use all the time. And listen, I get it. Video email that you pay for is like a gym membership. It doesn't work unless you go, and it doesn't work unless you use it. But even in this time where we are thinking about how we are conserving stuff, you've got to use the tools that we know work. We know CRM
That's
works.
right.
We know video email works. Guys, pay for it. Well, now you don't have to. The free Zoom, that's nice. Just get the tools that you have to leverage during this short-term period where we are going to have to be doing more of this, right? Don't cheap out.
Right.
Get in there and get involved and start practicing with it. So I just want to encourage you guys as you're going through some of this stuff, use those tools. All right.
Absolutely.
Questions. We want to save the end here for questions and comments. We got 20 minutes in and 36 seconds. Well, the first 5 were us figuring out how to do the countdown timer. What questions, comments, or brilliant statements do you have? Please do use that comment section and ask questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we always, always, always want to hear from you guys and answer those questions just to see what you're doing. We'll talk through this all the time. Here's one thing a question we got the other day. What happens if my on-site salespeople are canceling virtual appointments? Like they don't want to do it.
Ooh.
And there's 2 sides of that. Is it a safety issue? Is it they don't want to meet with people if they don't feel like they're qualified? Here's the answer to that. First, every salesperson has the opportunity to jump on and qualify a prospect more. And if they don't feel like it's the best time to meet, that's fine. But you better document everything that you talked about and everything that you said. Do not be canceling appointments right now. Appointments are like gold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk to everybody. Wants to talk to you.
And definitely don't be canceling virtual appointments because there's no harm in that.
Yeah.
And so if an on-site sales rep is canceling a virtual appointment because they don't feel comfortable or don't have the technology or don't know what to do, I'm blessing you now because your days are numbered.
Yeah.
Get your last rites read. I mean, this is you got to take care of that. So I've heard that actually a couple times. And I'm scratching my head going, a virtual appointment is still an appointment, people. We've got to keep handling that. So that's what I've heard. Jen, what other questions are you hearing out there?
One question got recently was, what if, we set up a Zoom video and the prospect doesn't feel comfortable being on video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's happening a lot. Yep.
Totally fine, right? So to make them comfortable, they don't have to be on the video. They can just look at your face and you can be talking to them and you can be sharing your screen. So you don't want to push them into something they don't feel comfortable with. And a lot of people won't feel comfortable. Somebody said today that this is kind of interesting, that she said the majority of people that are agreeing to virtual appointments are men. And I said, that's because women are more insecure. Women's roots are growing out right now because we can't get to the beauty parlor and get our hair done. So, everybody's natural hair color is going to be, being shown coming in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be scary. We're all going to be wearing hats.
I need to see in the comments if you think that is sexist or not. I'm
just repeating what somebody else said for the record.
Jen, this is your diversity. I am your diversity police here.
I'm just repeating.
I resent that comment. But who knows? It's true. I mean, what guys are like, whatever. They're like showing up in their old t-shirt and stuff. And it is interesting seeing some of these videos coming out. I'm like, wow, that guy's got a beard now and his hair's long. And my son is going to grow out his hair. He's like, I might as well do it. He goes, I didn't like that in between, but he's going, he's just going to go along. So Barb says not sexist at all. Totally true.
Thank you, Barb.
Bridget says it's the truth. If Jen says it, it's fine. We'll let that go. That's good. Diane, you guys haven't seen the Joe Exotic clip where it's his hair and it's like, what happens when it's 2 weeks into the quarantine and I'm cutting my own hair? Just go look up that meme because you can just look up that stuff for everywhere. So, Summer's just keeping it real. Okay, she's got the cover. She's got the cover spray.
Thank you for that root spray stuff. That's all I'm saying. That stuff is amazing.
Can I just spray that on my beard?
Yeah, Absolutely. But if you spray, okay, listen, just from speaking from experience, and I'm not going to go into detail about this. If you do anything to your beard color wise,
Okay.
make sure you do something to your hair too, because that looks really strange.
Okay. I think I'll just pass on the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, people's comfort level of being on video, it doesn't matter, just as long as you're comfortable. And I think salespeople are kind of caught off guard. Like, well, why doesn't everybody want to get on video with me? Just like everybody doesn't want to get on video coaching with us, and we have to force them into it. So that's good. All right. So let's, I love what Kevin said, 4 years of innovation shoved into 2 weeks for many. We just had that conversation. It's like, this feels a little painful because, you know, what you're trying to do in 2 weeks took a lot of these companies years to set up. So I want to shift gears a little bit. And I want to ask this to everybody out there. First of all, everybody out there, this is the game we're going to play in the comments. What is your best tip to working from home? And you can't reuse a tip if someone posted it in the comments. So what is your best tip to working from home? And I will start first with my thinking about my spouse. Like, I feel like it's good to coordinate lunchtime and not just walk in, because I'm always like walking in. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? What are you doing? How's it going? What's going on? And she's like, I'm busy and I need you to stop bothering me. I am working, and I'm also a teacher trying to homeschool my kids right now, or crisis schooling, as others have put it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh gosh, sorry. I'm ready to talk and they're not ready to talk. So my first thing is like kind of getting a pulse check when you walk in the door, or when you see your spouse, and go, you know, is this a good time? That's my tip. What do you guys have out there? And Jen, we'll go to you. Time blocking the day. Good job, Julie. I like that. Fantastic.
Yeah. While you're looking through those, I would say my tip is specifically with kids, to have either an agenda the night before that you discuss with them, or first thing in the morning. Like, hey, this is what mom and dad have going on today. Just want to let you know, this is what I've got planned for you. Or, you know, here's 3 projects that you can work on. And it does take some planning, and it takes some thought ahead of time. But I think if you have those conversations either the night before the morning, you'll feel better. And then, hey, we can regroup at lunch, talk about how your morning went.
Yeah.
I know that's not, I mean, we got to do the best we can, but it's some planning ahead of time that can help.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. Got a lot of good ones. I'm showing up here on the screen, which is great. Kevin says, turn off the Roomba. Finally figure out your video settings. Yeah. Knock out your activities. Yeah. Start fresh. I think that's good. Set an alarm. A lot of you guys are saying routine and schedule. I think that's the theme of that. And I can't stress that enough. You know, work from home or not, really what this is called unsupervised work. So now you're your supervisor, and what it takes to be disciplined and choosing a time to start and also choosing a time to stop. That's different for everyone. Some people need help starting. Just our personality. My youngest son, God love Nate. Good kid. I don't know if you guys have seen him.
You mean that superstar that's been on Facebook?
He's great. He's great on that. But when it comes to doing schoolwork, he's Captain Procrastinator. His name is he procrastinates like all get out, and he's got to have all this help. So my older son, get it going, get it done, move on, pass it. So some of us need help starting, and some of us, because we're kind of like to work, especially that gives us a distraction, need help stopping, right?
Yeah.
When you work from home, your work is always when you want it, right? So I saw Becca say, just get out. Madison says, set an alarm. Barb says, stand up, do your back a favor. Jennifer says, stick to a schedule and make as many calls between 11 and 1. We also heard earlier in the comments that people are actually answering the outbound calls. What? That's crazy. You bet. They're like, who is this live person in real life?
People want to interact with people. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
Yeah. As in Virginia, we just got a mandate that we have to stay home until June 10th. June 10th, right? That seems like a long way, a long time from now, right? And
Yes.
so, you know, you might be dealing with those things too. Everybody's state is different, but you know, the cool thing is the work that you're doing now, the schedule that you're doing now, the way that you're adjusting and being flexible and the new tools you're learning, all of that will pay off and stay with you. It's actually a pretty cool way to think about it, because you're going to get so great at working from home and scheduled and getting your stuff done. And when all this gets back to normal, it'll be like, yeah, I got this.
I love Kevin. Kevin is jumping in from the sidelines with good stuff. Set a conversation goal, not a lead or appointment goal. I think that's just good for mental health, because if you're sitting there, like, if you're not setting appointments, you're going to be super frustrated. Bobby purchased a stand-up desk, which is great. Talking about people who answer the phones, Barb says they're dying to talk to an adult. Yes, I'm sure. Yes. I'm sure that is true. So Connie has a good question. Connie from Cawthorne, thank you. How do we convey to a nervous buyer that now is a good time to buy? Okay, so that's like saying to someone, you know, you're trying to make a decision for them in a super uncertain time when the fear is high. I don't think that there is a way to talk through that, or what I would say is turn around that potential objection right now. That's dicey. It's just super dicey. Now you're going to get other people on the extreme side. We're going to sell through this. We're going to overcome that objection. We've all, you know, what we've said is that online sales hasn't really changed much, except for the type of appointments that we're setting in a COVID-19 protocol. We've always been there to help a customer. But Connie, if someone were to say, I'm just a little bit nervous, is now a good time to buy? And Jeff Sure will be answering that on Friday too. I'm going to ask that same question because we're getting it a lot. Here's my take on it. Okay. My 2 cents. What I would say is, first of all, I'd use a disruptive statement right off the bat, because that's the framework for handling any objections. First of all, you've got to absorb it and go, this isn't against me or against our product. This is just where they're coming from. So I'm going to absorb that and relax a little bit and give my mind time to catch up. The second thing that I would do is use a disruptive statement and say, I get it. You know, we're really nervous over here too. You know, so I understand where you're coming from. And that kind of, they go, oh, that's interesting. They agree with me. They're in the same spot. Well, guys, we're all going through this collective FFT for the first time. Effing first time, as Brene Brown calls it. We're going through it together. So use that disruptive statement. And then I would use something like this. Say, you know, tell a specific story. We sold X amount of homes this past week, 2 weeks, whatever. We're still selling right now, and we've got these closings happening. So people who are in the market and need to buy right now are finding that this is working out for them. I don't know if that's your exact situation, but if it is, we'd at least encourage you to keep the conversation going and keep your search going. And we're happy to help you with that, however you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Connie, that can help, that little bit of a framework, but just don't freak out and go, yeah, neither would I. And say, see ya. We'll call us back when this is over. We don't want to do that. Right. We don't have to convince someone to buy, but or you know, sell someone, but if they're ready to go, we want to do that. Right. So, you know, this is new for a lot of us. So I like what Kim says, stay motivated, upbeat, and empathetic. That's good. I mean, this is stretching everybody's emotional intelligence. And for those of you who have coworkers, you guys know what I'm telling you. There's some of your coworkers that might be emotionally intelligent, and others you're like, hey, what? Seriously, right now? This is when we're going to talk about this? Really? That's where we're going right now? So empathy is important.
Kevin says, even my 100-year-old grandmother has never experienced anything like this. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Okay, so that's a good question. Hopefully that helped. Again, it's getting a little bit outside of our wheelhouse, but we do have online sales specialists asking that same thing. The other one is, how do I overcome the objection of someone wanting to set a virtual appointment? They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, no, I'm just going to wait, and say, I totally understand. If that's that's the direction you want to go, we get it. However, if you are in a place where you want to learn a little bit more and start the conversation we have a couple of options for you. And it doesn't even have to be with video. It could be over the phone, or we could co-browse along with you and show you a couple things that you just can't find on our website that are in other places. Would you like us to set that up for you? We can do it at a time that is convenient for you. That's all you can do. But there are a lot of people who are saying that, and what they mean is, I'm stopping my search right now because I'm not excited about things that are going on. I don't feel comfortable in my job. And they don't want to say that because no one wants to admit that they could be laid off in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else from all of you guys? We're going to wrap this up. You guys have been a wonderful and attentive audience.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you. Had a great time today. We will keep coming back. We will.
We'll be here. We will be here for you.
That is truly our commitment. Again, like not much has changed in the online sales world except for the style and type of appointments. For Do You Convert, not much has changed with us. We've always said this. Kevin says this on his podcast. We are here to help you, not to sell you. And our goal is in a challenging time is to do the best that we can, share our resources and what we're hearing out there from all of our folks in the extended builders that we work with, and share it back with you. So we encourage you to keep tuning in. We're going to keep coming live. Kevin's dropping podcasts twice a week now instead of once a week. I mean, we're just keeping that stuff flowing for you. So if you just want to come check in, say hi, let it look you in the eyes and tell you that everything's okay. And
I'm sure everybody's tired of talking about this. I mean, meetings upon meetings, you're talking with everybody about it, and you're internally at home with your prospects, so we get it. But we want to be here if you have questions, just a platform where you can hop on and hear what other people are doing. So thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you, and, hang in there. I was on a coaching call yesterday where we just practiced, at the end, I said, I'm going to teach you how to breathe. Sometimes you need, just meditate for 2 minutes. If you were on that call, you know who you are, and you know what, it helped. So sometimes you just need to take a second. You just need to take a beat, and you need to just breathe. And so I just encourage you to do that and stay positive and strong out there.
That's how you know how tough it is. If Jen's coaching calls are teaching people how to breathe.
Hey,
come on back here. On our next session, we'll be doing a live meditation practice.
Live meditation
with Jen Barkin. Thank you, everybody. You guys all have a fantastic weekend, or just have a weekend. We don't care.
Have a week. Yeah.
Have a weekend. I don't care if it's good or bad. I just want you to take a little bit of breath.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
See you guys.